Much of the heavy exhaustion you feel tonight does not come from the work you did today. It comes from the quiet, relentless effort of trying to manage things that were never yours to command. You lie in the dark and your mind continues to work. You replay what someone said, wondering how you might change their perception of you. You mentally rehearse tomorrow's unpredictable conversations, striving to guarantee an outcome that has not happened yet. You struggle against past mistakes, trying to rewrite events that have long since settled into history. We spend so much of our vital energy attempting to bend the world, other people, and the future to our will. When life refuses to comply, we feel shattered, frustrated, and deeply worn out. Imagine standing at the edge of a quiet bay at midnight. The surface of the water reflects the stillness of the sky. Nearby, gentle waves wash against the shoreline with a slow, predictable rhythm. When a sudden gust of wind blows across the bay, the water reacts. Small, restless ripples form across the surface. But if you look deeper, just a few feet beneath that brief agitation, the body of the bay remains entirely motionless, dark, and undisturbed. Your inner life possesses that same quiet depth. The world around you will always bring unexpected gusts of wind. People will judge. Plans will shift. Circumstances will surprise you. But your peace does not depend on stopping the wind. It begins the very moment you stop demanding that the water remain flat. Tonight you are invited to put down the exhausting burden of trying to control what was never yours. Allow the surface noise to fade as we step together into the deep, unshakable calm of the Stoic mind. The Stoics offered a clear and liberating distinction that can change the way the mind rests at night. Epictetus taught that some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us. What is up to us includes our judgments, our choices, the direction of our attention, and the way we respond to whatever appears. These belong to the inner realm. They are the only territory where true influence lives. What is not up to us includes the opinions of others, their actions, the outcomes of our efforts, the unfolding of tomorrow, and the settled facts of yesterday. These move according to their own nature. They were never placed fully in our hands. Notice how much of tonight's mental weight belongs to the second category. Someone's approval, a conversation that already ended, a result that has not yet arrived, a circumstance that refuses to bend. When the mind treats these as responsibilities it must manage, exhaustion follows. The effort is endless because the objects of that effort remain outside its reach. But what if tonight you stopped carrying responsibilities that never belonged to you? What if you gently returned your attention to the smaller, more honest list, the one that is actually yours? Your next thought can be examined. Your next judgment can be softened. Your attention can be guided back to this breath, this body, this quiet room. Your response to the present moment remains within your power. This is not indifference. It is clarity. It is the decision to stop spending your limited energy on battles that cannot be won through force of will. Feel the first lightning that comes with this recognition. The shoulders may release a little. The breath may deepen on its own. You are not abandoning life. You are reclaiming the only part of life that has always been yours to govern. Rest here for a moment. Let the distinctions settle. What belongs to you is enough. Everything else can remain where it is. Among the things that do not belong to you, few weigh heavier at night than the opinions of others. A critical remark replays. A look of disappointment lingers. The quiet fear of being misunderstood rises again, Comparison whispers that you fall short. Approval feels necessary, and its absence feels like a verdict. Yet another person's opinion belongs entirely to them. It is shaped by their history, their fears, their limited view of the moment. You cannot reach inside their mind and rearrange what they think. You cannot command their approval any more than you can command the wind across the bay. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself often that he could not control the judgments of those around him. Only the integrity of his own actions and the quality of his own character. The rest was not his to manage. Feel how much energy has been spent trying to secure a favorable reflection in someone else's eyes. Notice the tension that lives in the body when the mind insists on rewriting their perception. That effort has never fully succeeded, because the object of the effort was never yours. A ripple forms on the surface of the bay when the wind passes. It does not ask permission, and it does not need permission to fade. In the same way, another person's judgment can appear, and then continue on its way without requiring your constant attention. You remain responsible for your own response. You can choose patience. You can choose clarity. You can choose not to turn their temporary view into your permanent story. But you do not have to carry their opinion as if it were a duty. Let it rest where it belongs, with them. The water grows quieter when we stop demanding that every ripple disappear on our schedule. Your mind can grow quieter too. Return to what is actually yours. The next breath, the present choice, the quiet decision to stop seeking control over what was never under your command. The past has a way of returning when the night grows still. Moments you wish had unfolded differently, words spoken too quickly, opportunities that slipped away, conversations that ended without resolution, embarrassments that still carry a quiet sting. The mind reaches backward, trying to rearrange what has already settled into history. But the past does not belong to your control. It cannot be rewritten. No amount of mental effort will reopen the door and allow a different ending. The events have already taken their place. They are fixed in time the way a ripple, once formed, must follow its own brief path across the water. Yet the ripple does not last forever. It spreads, it softens, and gradually it disappears back into the stillness of the bay. In the same way, the past can be remembered without being relived. Its lessons can remain while the emotional weight is allowed to sink. You do not need to erase what happened. Some experiences shaped you. Some pain taught necessary truths. Acceptance does not require forgetting. It only requires the honest recognition that continuing to live inside yesterday steals energy from the only moment that is still available. This one. Seneca often returned to the cost of dragging the past into every new hour. The wiser path is to receive what the past offers, and then let the rest settle. The water does not cling to every disturbance. It returns to its own nature. Feel the difference between learning from what was and remaining trapped inside it. Learning can be quiet and useful. Remaining trapped keeps the surface of the mind restless long after the original wind has passed. Tonight allows some of that old weight to sink. The lessons stay with you. The endless replaying does not need to. The bay grows calm again. Your attention can return to the present shore. Just as the past pulls the mind backward, the future reaches forward with its own quiet demands. What if this plan fails? What if the conversation goes poorly? What if the uncertainty ahead becomes something difficult? The mind builds careful pictures of disasters that have not arrived. It rehearses outcomes it cannot yet know. It tries to secure a future that remains unformed. But tomorrow does not belong to your control tonight. You can prepare where preparation is possible. You can make thoughtful plans during the day. You can take the next responsible step when the time is right. Yet endless mental suffering over what cannot yet be known only drains the energy you will need when tomorrow actually comes. The Stoics understood this tension well. They valued wise action in the present while refusing to be consumed by imagined futures. Anxiety often lives in the space between the real and the merely possible, and most of what the mind fears in the dark never takes the exact shape it predicted. Return to this breath, return to this room, return to this night, return to the quiet bay. The water does not lean forward into the next hour. It remains where it is, responding only to the wind that is actually present. In the same way, you can meet what is here without demanding certainty about what has not yet appeared. Feel how much tension softens when the mind stops insisting on guarantees. The future will arrive in its own time, carrying whatever it carries. You will meet it then, with the clarity and strength available in that moment, not with the exhausted mind of a sleepless night. For now, let tomorrow remain ahead of you. It does not need your constant supervision. The present moment is the only place where your attention can actually do any good. Rest here. The bay is still. This hour is enough. You have walked through the clear distinction the Stoics offered. You have seen what belongs to you, your judgments, your choices, your attention, your response to this moment. You have seen what does not, the opinions of others, the settled past, the unformed future, the outcomes that remain beyond your reach. Now the mind can begin to settle into the freedom that follows. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the ability to remain grounded while movement continues around you. The surface of the bay may still carry a soft ripple from a distant breeze, yet the deeper water stays quiet, dark, and undisturbed. In the same way, thoughts may still appear. Emotions may still rise. The world may still shift. None of these need to pull you from your center. Bring awareness gently to the body. Feel its weight resting. Notice the quiet contact with the surface beneath you. Sense the natural rhythm of the breath, entering and leaving without effort. The night air is still. The imagined sound of gentle waves continues at the edge of awareness, soft and unhurried. Marcus Aurelius returned often to the understanding that the mind becomes free when it stops demanding that outside events obey its preferences. Peace is not found by rearranging the world. It is found by governing the inner response with patience and clarity. You do not need the surface of life to become perfectly flat. You only need to stop fighting every ripple as if your survival depended on its disappearance. Feel the growing quiet. The breath slows further. The need to manage what was never yours begins to loosen its hold. Attention rests more easily in the present. This body, this breath, this simple night. Stillness is already here. It has been waiting beneath the effort. Let yourself sink into it a little more. The bay is quiet now. The earlier wind has passed. The ripples have softened and disappeared back into the dark water. What remains is stillness, not forced, not fragile, simply natural. Your mind can rest in the same way. The past can remain behind you. Its lessons may stay, but the endless replaying does not need to continue. The future can remain ahead. It will arrive when it arrives. You do not have to live it in advance. Other people's opinions can remain with them. They were never yours to command or correct. Outcomes can unfold according to their own nature. Tonight you only need to care for what belongs to this moment. Your breath, your attention, your choice to stop fighting what was never under your control, your willingness to rest. You do not need to control the entire world to experience peace. You only need to stop demanding control over what was never yours. Feel the body grow heavier. The arms and legs release their last quiet tension. The face softens. The breath moves slowly, loyal and steady. The imagined surface of the bay lies calm under the night sky, reflecting only stillness. If a thought still drifts across awareness, let it pass like a final soft ripple. It does not need to be followed. It does not need to be solved. It can fade on its own. The day is finished. The striving can end. The mind no longer needs to stand guard over every uncertain thing. Sleep can come now as a natural extension of this quiet. The body knows the way. The breath already carries the rhythm. All that remains is to allow the stillness to hold you. Rest like the surface of a quiet bay, deep, undisturbed, at peace. Nothing more is required. You may sleep.